Grand Rising. Thank you all for joining us. And of course, it's more of a grand afternoon on this second Saturday of the month. I'm so excited to join you. I'm Naimah Latif, Dr. Naimah Latif, here with Achieving World Peace. And on this second Saturday, we want to introduce you to what is happening globally in the cause of peace. Now, there is a war going on behind your back between the light and the dark. The light are those that want peace, love, joy, unity. The dark representing conflict, fear, anxiety, war. Well, the light is winning, but we don't often realize that because the information you receive is meant to keep you in a state of fear and anxiety and anger toward others. So on this second Saturday, we'll be bringing you the good news that the light is winning. And today we've got a wonderful guest for you, our own dear ambassador for peace, Mama Joy Ramza, fresh from global works that she is doing in South Korea and other places where she is bringing that word of peace and also giving us some insight about how we can help further that cause. So we'll be right back as we introduce the female solution.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the female solution.
Yes, this is the female solution, and we've got some females that are giving you a solution.
That's right, live and well.
Yes. Well,
Live
Reverend
and
Mama
well.
Joy, you are doing your work, and we are so proud of you. Now, as an ambassador for peace, you've been working with that wonderful global peace organization, HWPL, and of course, may have to step away from us every now and then, but we're grateful you'll be giving us some insight every now and then on that wonderful mission of peace that is so critical in these times.
Well, I tell you, I just want to say thank you so very much for having me as a guest on this side. Being, it's quite a privilege and an honor, and I'm surprised, but yeah, stepping away, and it was my hope to kind of relax, but instead, it seemed like I'm being
Get
launched
more
all
work
over
to
the
do.
place. Launched all over the place, and I was not anticipating that. Yeah, I'm very happy to be able to represent be an ambassador for peace, and um, and I think this is really an important time for us to really take a note that it's really important for us to really expand our minds, expand our realities, because whether we choose to or not, there is a tremendous global shift occurring.
Yes.
Technology, we hear about the AI and all, but everything is shifting at record speed now. I mean, it's beyond. So I'm so happy to be here on this amazing platform of the Female Solution. And so
Yes.
thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being all that you have been to us and now to the world as an ambassador for peace. Tell us a bit about that position. Of course, you have been active with HWPL for a number of years and traveled to South Korea and recently have been participating in some of the meetings and strategy sessions. Tell us a bit about that. What are some of the things that you do as part of that coalition of peace workers?
Well, I received, what is this, the true story of heavenly World
Yes.
Peace.
Heavenly culture, world peace,
Now,
restoration
you're
of
the
life.
one who's been involved with them. I've been involved with the ACLC.
Mm.
ACLC is the American Clergy Leadership Conference.
Ah.
And of course, that's a Korean based. It's
Mm.
amazing how we're right here together in Chicago, and yet for some reason we seem to be in that same path of the
Yes.
Korean way. And I believe that is the way God has designed it to be. I was the coordinator of the ACLC uh, Women in Ministry for 6 years, and a part of the ACLC for since 2012. So, living for the sake of others is something really that I've been doing all of my life, but it's so wonderful when you can connect with a movement that is honoring that and attempting to establish the spiritual equality and divinity of the female in the whole scope of of the spirit world. And so I am an ambassador for peace, uh, encouraging people to live for the sake of others and to look at this truth, which is a challenge for some of us, that we're all one. We're all one, and we're all one family, and we're all related. And the divisions that we experience is some data that was given to us that has caused a division. And so, being a global ambassador, just like you are, Naima, we're always looking forward to unifying and bringing people together in peace, not to take them away from to their religion or whatever, but to touch them and embrace them as a child of God. We are one, that we are here with the intentions of God to live in harmony, that we are neighbors, you know. And that's another thing about the neighbors, not the person right next door to your home or, or the next community, but expand our minds to the point where we can actually understand that even as a city, we have a neighbor city. A state, we have neighboring states. As a nation, we have neighboring nations.
Yes.
And that all puts us together. And now conflicts are happening because there is this energy that's moving us together and conflicting. And the only thing that's going to bring us together is the truth.
Absolutely. That
The
is.
only thing that's going to bring us together is the truth. And then, as Christ, I like to phrase some of my talks with Jesus, he says, and whosoever willing, let them come. We should not try to force our way of life on someone else. Give them what you have. Keep your peace. I like Jesus. He says, hey, knock on the door. If they let you in, go in. But if they don't let you in, keep on moving and keep your peace. And that's something that we have to learn how to relearn, to keep our peace and not feel that we have to be battling and conflict with anyone to show them a way. You be
That
that
is.
example.
Yes.
Be that light. And if they refuse, bless them
That
and
bless
keep
them and
on
keep on
moving.
going. That's right. And that's why I like the clergy meeting with all the various religious groups, the interfaith dialogues that HWPL would sponsor, because a lot of the groups, they had that mindset, you have to follow my way or you're wrong, you're going to hell and all that. And so people coming into the meetings with that indoctrination, over time they learned that there are many paths to God, but all paths do lead to God. It's not as though you have to just be this, and if not, you're condemned
No.
to hellfire and all of that. It's everybody finds the path that suits them, but we can all be in harmony together. and still have love for each other, even if we disagree over certain little doctrine things. But the main thing is the love. And people learned that over time and getting to know human beings and not a religious label. So it was very helpful, and getting people to that point, as you say, knowing the truth that all of us are one. We're one community, one family under God, regardless of our philosophies.
Regardless.
Yes, yes.
Regardless.
So
And the challenge is for us to grow up.
yes,
The
that's
challenge
the
is for us
challenge.
to grow up. And I take the position as a mother. They call me Mama Joy.
I love
As
that.
a mother.
Every
And
Mama Joy.
Mama Joy. Some call me Mother Joy. I like Mama Joy because that's kind of down home for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Mama has that certain feel to Mama. Yeah,
Yeah.
nurturing
Mhm. And it's something that you choose to do.
yes.
I had a friend of mine, I was telling her, yeah, I got married. And oh, I tell you, when I got pregnant, because I was thinking about getting a divorce because I realized I had made a wrong decision. And
Mm.
but then when I found out I was pregnant, I said, oh, my stars. I had to review my life, I had to revisit what all this meant. And I decided that I was going to be a mother and I was going to be with the family and the father of this child. And at some point in time, it still didn't work. And I
Mm.
did leave. And when I spoke to a friend of mine, or actually it was a relative, and I was telling her, I said, well, I had to be a mama. I had to. She says, no, Joy, you didn't have to do that. I said, yeah, when you get pregnant, you have to do that because that's the way I was taught.
Mm-hmm.
She says, Joy, she says, I work in child services every day. A woman is coming in saying, I can't do this. And that shocked me. That shocked me because I thought that all women chose that. But then some women realize that that's not their calling.
And
That's
it's
not,
made a bad time.
and people condemn them. And that shouldn't be that way.
Shouldn't. You know,
Because
yeah.
if you're pregnant, you're a child. I mean, I've seen children walk across the stage in 8th grade pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And and we as adults have been through all of these stages. At some point, we must learn how to not only forgive, but to understanding that these young people that we have today have not been shown the truth of who they are. Not only that, but we have not demonstrated properly what true mothering and father is required.
That's true.
And so that's what we are being challenged with. I'm your mother, you are my mother. Let's sit down at the table, Father, because no mother and father wants to hurt any other children of another mother and father. We've got to come to the table as family to be
Yeah.
a protection for each other. So
Ab-
that's the challenge. Yeah, we're one, we're relatives, we're all related. You
yeah.
can go anywhere, any doctor who's studied on anybody, you know what? You can get sick and they can take you and fix you up because the body is related. Whatever you got in you, I got in me.
That's right. That's right. We all got the same parts. Well,
Right? We got the
Mama
same
Joy.
part. So this idea and these ideologies are what we're conflicting with, Naima. The
It-
ideologies and these truths, which many of us are beginning to find out that we've been living in a chaos of lies.
yes. Oh, and that's the thing. And that's why your position as ambassador is so critical, because you bring the light. You help enlighten people and give them that word of truth. And you got one of your fans that's chiming in. Asada said, "You're surely a light in my life, Mama Joy." Yay! That's our own Asada.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, and so this is really, really and what a word that she's used. Surely a light in my life.
Yeah.
And each one of us possessed a beam of light.
Yes.
And our little spiritual says, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine.
Shine this light
Yeah.
of mine.
You
Yeah.
know, and we're talking about peace, but and the chaos that is now going on in Korea. And it's something that I immediately observed something. It was in April. I went to Korea, and then in August I went again, and it was an emergency. And they said, "Hey, we wanted the religious leaders to come to Korea because there's an attack on religious leadership." So
Wow.
I dropped everything to go. Let
That's
me see what's going on.
yes.
And as I was on the plane flying, I began to realize that this oneness that we all share,
Mm-hmm.
we're all in these waters, these life waters.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how big an event or whatever, you're going to get those ripples at some point in time.
That is true. That is true.
At some point in time. And me, as a woman, I'm beginning to understand that there's something in me that when the waters get to moving, it moves me inward too.
Yes. Yes.
Particularly being a person who is from the South.
Oh, yeah, that's the deep roots of the South. And that's a spiritual experience itself. You know, Mama Joe, we got to take a break. But when we come back, I want you to tell us about what happened when you landed, because I know that was quite a journey and a spiritual experience. So we'll be right back. We're going to greet our global family listening all over the
Woo!
world. And as we come back, we want you all to think about ways that you can be a light too. We'll be right back. So stay
Hmm.
with us.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network. Call 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you. Yes, we do want to talk to you, and we want you to talk to us too. We
Ah,
are here talking to Reverend Mama Joy, Ambassador Reverend Mama Joy.
yes, yes. Let me humbly receive that, because
Yes.
that's something that is, I've had it now for about 3 years, but I've always been traveling, and people will call me, "Oh, you're a global ambassador, global ambassador." But then when
Mhm.
I got the award, that really put something on my mind. But it's because I never really saw myself as a leader. And I just do what I do,
Mhm.
and I feel what I feel, and I go with that. But going back on that plane, as I said, I was concerned because we were told to come that there was an attack on religious leaders.
Mhm.
Well, there's always something going on in Chicago or whatever here with us. But when you leave this place of America and you go outside of this country, it is truly foreign. It is truly a difference. Yes, we are suffering in many ways of injustice, not putting that to be any less than what it is. But when I got to Korea, beautiful place. God, beautiful people too. I'm going to start calling them people with glass skin. They have this glow about themselves. But I got there and I couldn't find I couldn't find my way. Whenever I visited, there was someone holding a sign up, ACLC, welcome. There was no welcoming signs. There was no way for me to know where I was to go, or which go left, right, or what. And so I felt really uncomfortable because that was something that I've always had a really friendly, warm greeting. And so I said, well, I'm here. And then finally I saw one of the Archbishop Stallings, and I saw him and I said, oh, great, somebody from home. And we chatted for a while. He said, well, what's going on? He said, I can't find anybody. I said, me either. And so finally, a little Korean, he came with a little notepad because he was asking questions. And so, where are you from? What is your name? Whispering. And I told him my name. He says, okay, great. And he checked off me. I said, well, what's going on? I said, what's going on? I don't understand. Why is there not a sign? Why is there not directions? He just everything's okay. So we then eventually were able to, gather together and we boarded the bus. We had to wait a very long time. Why am I saying this? It's because boarding the pass, and this is my fourth trip to Korea, so I know how it feels. I know how it was. And this was something so different. And I could sense some kind of fear. So we go on, and then we're treated and greeted. And I wish I had some of those pictures I have. There were 331 of us coming from different parts of the world. 331. All of us wanted to come and hear what was going on.
Yeah, let's bring up some of those photos. So,
so
the 331 that gathered, what were some of the countries, the places they came from?
They came from Portugal. They came from Italy. They came from India. They came from Germany. They came from Ghana, Libya. They are, well, Puerto Rico. They came from many parts of the world. Oh, here's a picture of 21 of us from America. These are the women that came. We have a couple of people here that's close to us, Dr. Alexander. And we're standing in front of the new the new temple, which is have been formed, created, or what I'll say, use the model of the Vatican. And this place, with Mother Moon as the founder and the now target of the Korean government, is because of the building of this place that she says is the address of God.
Wow.
You ever thought about that?
Wow.
Jesus said, he says, as it is in heaven should be down on earth. And yet, where have we had taken a responsibility to say this is where God is? We say, oh, and God is in your heart. But at some point, we have to create some type of structure to represent it, not a religious structure, but that of the spirit. As I said, even men who were of the Buddhist faith, they were there. It's amazing.
Powerful. That is.
Yes. And so we were there, and we were there to hear what was going on as religious leaders and what was the need for the solidarity. Because Naimah, they didn't tell us anything. And Mother Moon was not able to be with us. We didn't know that she was ill. And this is the first time that she was there, and we had no knowledge of it. Yes, this is a beautiful, beautiful place. And so, again, representing France and Ghana here. And you had many religions, listen, that many religions, but we were coming because we want to come together for peace, come
Um,
together to bring peace and to bring about a healthy life for the sake for the sake of God and our nation. And while I was there, they said nothing really for us. We had public uh, panels, but they said nothing about the situation of the crush the efforts of the merchants of chaos. Yeah, we do. We have to understand that there was a lot of chaos that we never even speak of. But we have a duty. We have a duty to learn the truth and to do whatever we can to put down the lies and the propaganda that defines people and place the fear of people that terrifies them. Because while I was in there, they gave, would you believe this? They gave us um, a lecture on statistics at the Korea. And I sat there and I listened to this 45-minute, almost an hour lecture on statistics. And so when it came time for the Q&A, my sister, I, she said, oh, the moderator came out. She says, look, what, do we have any questions? Okay, now, so we don't have any questions. So we're going to go on. And I raised my hand because I was disturbed. You know, Naim, at some point, we have to learn how to trust God to go within ourselves and ask questions and not fear. Oh, that's it. There were 331 people in that place. And I raised my hand and they said, you have something to say. You have a question. I said, yeah. I said, I I honored the presenter. I was challenged, Naima, because I'm growing with the finesse that you have. Sometimes being a peace ambassador means that you have to speak up even when you have very little peace in yourself, and yet you got to project that you are in that place because you have to crush these techniques that come upon us to just give us anything. Just
yeah.
give us anything. And I told him, I said, I had a family trip. I respected the brother who gave the presentation. I told him, I said, you're a professor. I give you honor, respect. I said, but you know what? I didn't come here for statistics on Korea.
Mm. Give us the real deal, not the fluff.
I didn't come
Yes.
over 6,000 miles to be taught that. And
Mm-hmm.
and then it was so quiet. I
Uh-oh.
stood around. I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "I
But
know I'm
you
not the
said what
only one
everybody
who
was
feel
thinking.
that." I said, "I'm
You,
not the only one that feels
yes.
that." I said,
Mm-hmm.
"I gave up my family trip to be here, not for this." And you know what? They started applauding me.
Because you were speaking the hearts of everybody else that was
No,
there, but you were
because
praising
I
too.
know I'm not the only one who feels this way.
Yeah.
And then I realized,
Oh,
and then
go,
I looked
Mama
over at the
Joy.
Korean men, and they were like this. I said to myself, "Oh my God, Joy, you're not at home. You're, you're in another
You're
country.
in
You're
America.
over there.
You can just
All
say
of
what you
these
want to say.
Asians, and if I and but for that moment, I had to be who I had to be because
Mhm.
I would not be comfortable with myself, Naima, had I left and not spoken the truth.
Right,
The
right,
fear. I didn't come over there to increase my fear. I came there to increase the truth and the desire for a better world. What
yes.
do I need to do? What do we need to do to bring peace?
Yes. Yes.
And they applauded me, and I really didn't know how to do that. But and then the presenter, he said, "Yes, ma'am, I understand." He said, "I didn't know what I was called." He said, "When I heard people praying and praising God and singing, I said, what is this they calling me to do?" He said, "I agree." Well, he said, "But I can send you." I said, "Plus the fact you spoke in Korean." I said,
So I'm sitting here
So
not
it
knowing
was
what
that
you're
kind of
saying.
preparation that I could tell. I said, wait a minute, I'm being called to something, and I knew something wasn't right. But
Mhm.
what can you do when you're in a place you don't speak the language, you're in a foreign country, and all of a sudden I realized their rules are not my rules. But
Mhm.
what can I do to make my point clear and to have some value on me and my time? Because I
Yeah.
love Mother Moon.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. And
Yeah.
so they applauded me and they started, you saying rock the rest of the world.
Rock the rest of the world, Mama Joy. The planet is
Yeah,
better because of
yeah. For the
you.
moment, I did. So that and now even listen to this. Out of 331 people that were in that place, I was the
Mhm.
only one who asked a question.
Wow. Well, in a lot of places, people have been conditioned to be silent. They've been conditioned by fear to be silent. And so that took a tremendous amount of courage. And, we've been through some things in this country. So we've kind of learned how to be fearless. And so a lot of times that American woman energy, when we bring it someplace, people are shocked, like, oh, you said something? You're not afraid? No, we face some things you ain't never faced. So no, we don't have any fear. So yeah, they applauded because you freed them by showing that fearlessness. So yes, Mama Joy, you are on your mission.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I thank you for that. Thank
Yes,
you for
crush
that.
the efforts of the merchants of chaos. That's what an ambassador of peace can do. Yes.
I didn't go for that, but the challenge came and I just responded. I
Yes.
responded.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
that's what's necessary,
yeah,
because
and it's something that I believe we all have been called in some way or another in our own special way to be that ambassador because we all have a light in us to shine, and we have to have faith in knowing that whatever the message, whatever it is that God has called us to do, there is an audience that is waiting for us to say what we need to say. Call, give me that light.
That's
Woo!
right. That's right. Preach, Mama Joy. Now, Sister Zelda from Higher Learning Network says they don't call you Mama Joy for nothing. Joy, joy, joy. Phenomenal, fearless, and focused. Amen.
Oh wow. I am so proud of the female solution. I'm so proud of the beautiful
We
women
are
that
proud
are
of you.
on board. I call it it's like a mothership. It's another kind of mothership, carrying a message, and that's what we have to do. And I thought about my ancestors, and one of the things I liked, I latched on with Father Moon's teaching was the spirit world. He was teaching about the power of the spirit world and made it clearer for me because we ride on that. Black folks of America. I'm not talking about
That's the
others.
only
I'm
way we
talking
got
about
through this.
this place right
Yeah.
here. This soil right here. When
Yeah.
you start thinking about what we have been through, and then
Mm-hmm.
all that we've been through, but yet, what
That's
did
what
Maya
we
Angelou say? She said, "Still
till I
we
rise.
rise."
Yeah, I tell you. That's right. That is the
And
power of the
still we
spirit.
rise.
What it takes.
You know.
Yes. Well, we got to take another quick break, but we're going to come right back and hear more about what the response was as you challenged them, and then what some of the other religious leaders expressed as you all spoke and conversed and shared your stories. So we'll
All
be
right.
right back after this quick break. So you all stick and stay. Don't stray away. We will be right back after these brief messages. So stay with us.
Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naimah. We're three Black moms.
And in case you didn't notice the resemblance, we're also three sisters.
We're going to be coming to you every week, sharing our successes and our mistakes as we navigate our lives as moms, wives, sisters, daughters, and of course, Black women in today's world.
We'll talk about it all: race, politics, religion, economics, culture, and we'll take a look at everything from whether or not to use corporal punishment to how do you teach your children about sex.
Look for our upcoming book, Growing Up Charles. It's a personal story about our lives growing up in Maple Park on Chicago's South Side. I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naimah. We're three Black moms. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Three Black Moms. And we are back. You are listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naimah Latif, and on this second Saturday, we talk about world peace. And we've got the ambassador for peace with us, Reverend Mama Joy. And she's a global peace ambassador, and she's been doing her job. And if you had a chance to, if you missed it, the first half, you need to rewind and go back because she did some preaching up in here.
Oh. Oh, wow. You know, this is exciting. In spite of all that's going on, this is an exciting time to be alive.
It really is. It is an exciting time to be alive. We're actually living the transformation of the earth as we speak. We're helping to make it happen. It's been predicted, as all the religions have said, there's going to be a great transformation. Now, the way it happens depends on us. It can be a rough ride or it can be a smooth ride. If we're loving and kind and peaceful and accepting of each other, it can be a smooth transition into that new earth. But if we're resisting and we're still trying to fight and beat people down and treat people wrong, we're going to have a rough time. So we're going to win. The forces of light are winning, and we're part of that force of light. So we've got to come together, those of like minds, and make this happen. So Mama Joy, tell us how that journey continued to transpire as people. I'm sure that's why you got a leadership role, because they say, "Oh, she ain't scared." So so you got a leadership role now because they can see that you're one that speaks for the people. And so tell us how that conversation transpired at that meeting.
Well, yeah, I certainly didn't go there for that because I was thinking I was supposed to be in California visiting my grandchildren and riding on the train that I was looking for, and I still haven't been able to do it. Because by the time I got back home, their schedule changed, so they couldn't accommodate me for my 3 weeks. So I'm waiting now.
Sacrificed your family time for this. Yeah, but better tell us some more than some statistics. I done sacrificed my family time. No, you better come up with it. Yeah, I don't understand.
It's funny you say that because one of the young ladies got on the bus and she sat by me, and I didn't know who she was, and she says, "Oh, you're so courageous." I said, "I am." My gosh. She said, "I was looking for you." And I said, "Wow. Looking for me? Wow." She says, "My God." She says, "Where did you get the strength to say the things you said?" I said, I don't know you. So how do you know me?" She says, the words you said. And she started telling me what I said. I said, "Oh, you understood." She says, "I am the interpreter." She said, and I had to interpret it in many different languages. And she says, "I don't know where you got." She says, "I was scared to say what you said, but I went on and said it because that's the way I was feeling too." So
you spoke the hearts of people. She was trying to figure out, how can I water this down? I don't know if I can say it, but then she had to go on and say what you said.
She went on and she said, I just wanted to get close to you. I said, "Oh, wow. Okay, thank you," and whatever, because I didn't really think that big of it, because I know, see, peace begins with me. Peace begins with you. Peace
Mhm.
begins with us as an individual, and you cannot promote something that you do not have.
That's right. Can't give what you don't have. And we have gone through it. We have been through enough where we know what it takes. And Zelda says, which is the truth. She said, been through and still going through.
And
Phenomenal women. That is the female solution. Yes, yes, we are. Yes, and we have been through so much that we actually. That's why we can step out in leadership, because we can demonstrate what courage looks like. We've had to face some things, and so we have overcome. That's why when we get in these arenas, a lot of times with international gatherings, we're the ones that step out because we've been through it.
not that you want to,
Yeah,
you just do what you have to do,
you do what you have to do.
and that's the way I felt. And some of the men came to me, hey, and whispering, how did they go? What did anybody say anything to you about what you said? That was really something. Another guy said, did he answer your question? Did he answer your question? Now they're
Mm,
in the room, but they don't want to say it out loud. But here they coming to me whispering,
see,
you know.
see, yeah.
So I just didn't feel that way. I just didn't clothe myself in that way. I spoke the truth. I trusted in it. And I believe that we are being covered by our ancestors.
Absolutely.
I believe that when we stand in the dignity and the respect of who we are, that those who came before us are still with us. That's my
Mm,
that's my belief. Am I asking anybody else to accept that? No, because I'm constantly singing spirituals. I'm constantly keeping them alive in me, because the
mm,
sacrifices that they made and did in the past is the reason why we are able to excel and do what we're doing right now.
absolutely. Now, is this the place that you all were meeting at?
Yeah, well, this was one of the places we met at several of them. This was the original palace. This was the original palace. So, show you about this. This is when I first went to Korea. This is where Mother Moon lived.
Mm.
She lived in. She had an east wing and a west wing, and we went there. And I was telling someone how and one one year I was able to bring a couple of other people, uh, Janine and Claudette, a couple of my friends with me, and I told them, I want you to see this big place. I said, and you walk on the marble, and then all of a sudden you go in this huge room. And I almost fell, Naimah, because the carpet was so plush. I'd never walked on carpet that was that thick. I defined
Oh,
what that
wow.
was. It was so thick. So I
Oh,
told him, I said, so look, we're going to walk in here, but you when you be careful when you get to the grand hall. But the government of Korea told her she could not live there.
what?
The government told her she can't live there. We can't have people living in palaces here. Now, as long as her husband was alive, she was
Mm.
able to be there. But now she's a widow. She's a woman by her alone. And they told her that she had to leave there, do something else with it. So what she did, she changed it into a museum.
Oh, that was smart. Yes. Can't
She
can't
changed
tell
it.
people they
Okay,
can't.
I don't have to live here. But I'm gonna
Mm.
change it to a museum, and so all the center of it will be a museum, and I live in the West Wing.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, I
Mm-hmm.
love women when they use their creative powers like that, huh?
Right. That's
And
right.
and what she did, the unique thing about this, and this is something that I feel we should understand. Who will remember us when we leave here,
Yes.
and what will
Yes.
we leave behind? Because what she did, she put gowns and she put outfits from her husband and books and awards and writings that she and her husband had accumulated over 50 years.
Wow.
Why is that important? Because number one, it shows that they lived.
Yes.
Everyone that we have been told about and have been told about and following, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
What is our legacy that we leave? And what bit of the truth are we preparing to leave as a light for those who come after us. Now, here we go into the 14th Amendment. They want to change the 14th Amendment from, that was inspired by the Emancipation
Isn't that
Proclamation.
something? Yes.
It had, the only thing that they did was change it and allowed other people to come in, not realizing that at some point it's going to be a conflict because our ancestors paid a price for that. Hello, somebody.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
But you're coming in and enjoying the privileges, but you don't know the principles that gave birth to that.
Mm-hmm.
And even Dwight David Eisenhower says that those who value the privileges more than the principles will soon lose them both. And now, here we are with the immigrants. God bless them. They're God's children too.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming in and they are using that statement that if you're born on this soil, that's the sacredness of this soil, that
Yeah,
you're an American.
that's right.
But I got news for them. If the soil was sacred then, the soil was sacred before then. They
That's
do
right.
not have
It
the
was
power.
sacred for the people who were
Sacred for the
already
land.
here.
Sacred. So
Mhm.
the land was sacred then. In 1865, it was sacred when 1619. It was sacred, hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? When they got here, because God is the author of all of this.
Yes, absolutely. Amen, Mama Joy. Go ahead, preach, Reverend.
Yeah, and for the earth too. And for the earth too.
That's right.
For the
That's
earth too.
right.
We are global citizens of this
Yes,
planet.
we are global citizens, and we must know our right to be where we are and not let anybody tell us we don't belong. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Yes.
Hands down.
Amen.
But we must we must grow up.
We must
That
grow.
power that God has placed in us, Theta, Allah, by whatever power, whatever name you choose to call it, that power is given freely to us all. And it is through that power in our own minds that we make decisions to either use it wisely,
That's
because
right.
it'll work for us, or use it unwisely and it works against us.
Absolutely. It's a choice. We got to take one last break. But when we come back, I want to hear what's next. What are some of the future plans and goals, and as we build this global connection with all the peacekeepers and peacemakers, how we can continue this work of peace so that the forces of light will continue to rise up and continue to transform humanity.
Yeah, and bring the East and the West together.
Bring the East
Let's
and the
connect.
West together.
Global connection now.
That's right. Well, we're going to be right back after this quick break. So we want you all to stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Naimah, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
Yes. Well, we are excited as always to hear from Reverend Ambassador, Reverend Mama Joy. the work that she has been doing globally. And now, of course, she's going to be able to give us every now and then a report on what is happening around the world. Because one of the wonderful things about the work that you do is that you are connected to a world community, and of course with the female solution we're going to always tell the world what you do. So what's the next step, and is there another meeting plan, and are you all strategizing? Of course, you know, the forces of darkness that don't want Mother Moon to shine are creating agitation. What are some of the ways that the peacekeepers are coming together to combat that?
That's an excellent question, because I was asking that question before this happened. Because the dark forces is something that we all are aware that all around us. And one thing I believe is important for us to understand is that we've got to not run away from the truth of ourselves. And the
Mm,
work begins within ourselves. And when we do that, we can work better with others, because we will know what the struggle is to remove ourselves from the lies that we have built our life on, and to be able to see that this false data no longer works for us, and be willing to open up and receive truth from wherever and whomever it comes from.
mm, that is,
Now, Mother Moon is incarcerated.
mm,
She's incarcerated. She is 82 or 83 years old. I see differences in 82 and 83, but when you're 80 anything, it's
yeah, 80 is 80.
and they said that she's on the floor,
Mm,
lying on the floor, because they don't, the Asians, you know, they lie down on the floor. So there's a mat on the floor. So she's on a concrete floor. She just completed surgery for her heart,
mm-hmm.
and she's being charged for giving someone a $30,000 purse, and they can't find the receipts.
And why is that a crime?
That's the question. They can't, they claim that's bribery, bribery to a illegal politician. Well, a politician is illegal. You know, some kind of it makes no sense. But what is true is that she has a position, a spiritual position. In the 50 years that she was with her husband, and for the last what 15 years since he passed, she has made great strides that no other woman has done. And her whole intention was to have a place for God, where
Mm,
people of peace can come and share and learn to love each other, and to leave a better Christian or a better Buddhist or a better Catholic or a better person, Muslim, not come out of your religion, but you'll be better based upon the principles that we have here, so that
yeah,
we can come together. Because no one wants to pull you out of who you are. We all are unique, but we can learn from each other. We can learn. And
yeah,
so she's been successful in that. She's accomplished that. But there's some places that are darker than others, Naimah. The
yeah,
dark forces are a little bit deeper in other places than even here. And so what we're doing is, number one, attempting to come together and galvanize by communities,
yes,
to get not only get the story, but to also see this which is happening to her on a grander scale. Because globally, yes, there are wars and there's rumor wars, but there is a tremendous amount of uneasiness within the humanity, the body of humanity as a whole.
Yes.
So, what I'm doing is I'm getting ready to get my community with some truth.
Now, do you
And
want me to show that, because the couple of people that we're talking about, the YouTube video with some of the issues that were raised?
yeah, you can use that one. I think one is about 50 seconds.
Yes, yes.
Right. This is a young man who is defending his father because his father interviewed Billy Graham. And so they put him in jail because they don't want that teaching. They don't want any religious
So
leaders.
is it kind of an anti-religious type of thing that's happening
In
where?
Korea and of course, in China, there's none. And it's traveling all over. Hmm. And of course, let's keep in mind that even the Southern Baptists down south has removed all women leaders.
Ooh, uh-oh, hit the wrong thing.
They don't believe in women preachers, so they have removed these women leaders. And if a church has any women leadership, they moving them out of the Southern Baptist Commission. They're moving them out. Even Rick Warren, who's written The Purpose Driven Church, The Purpose Driven Life, he's been moved out of there because he had women over some of the churches. So
Wow.
this
Let me
work
take
against
here.
women.
That's a deep thing. That is a deep
Mhm.
thing. We're here. Let's just take a look at what is happening here with someone interviewing Billy Graham getting arrested.
And also the other pastor is Pastor Billy Kim, who was the interpreter for Billy Graham when he was in Korea. They raided his broadcasting company. So they went after the most vocal, one of the most influential pastor, which is my dad, and the biggest church in Korea, and also the most influential and well-known Korean pastors, Pastor Billy Kim. What I think and what the attorneys and Korean Christians are thinking is that if you go after, if you target the leaders, and if they succeed in silencing them, arresting them, making them not say anything or speak out, they will succeed in this battle, right? And because not a lot of other leaders would be able to step up, and how they would be oppressing the Christian peoples. That's what they've been doing to Christian leaders.
Yeah, attacking the Christian leaders. Right.
So, well, Ambassador Reverend Mama Joy, we're so excited, so grateful that you came to share your insight with us and give us the report of what's happening around the world with the peace movement. And we are winning. We need to remember that so that we don't get infused with fear. And when things happen, it merely is so that the ugliness can come to the surface so we can see where it is, where the healing is needed. Like the body of humanity, wherever there's an infection, we needed to come to the surface so we can heal it. And
I think COVID should have taught us that, right? COVID showed us that, right?
yes, yes.
So thank you. So thank you so much for having me today. I hope that I was able to fulfill what you thought. But I will be sending you more information so we can keep abreast of what is going on.
Yes,
with this Mama Moon.
Yes, we're gonna keep it, and we want your prayers. Pray for those whose minds are in a state of confusion, where they fear people bringing a spiritual message is going to somehow disrupt their system. All acts of wrongness are based in fear. So let us pray that they be relieved of their mistaken beliefs and fears so they can do what is right to our dear mother and all of those who are working in the cause for peace. We thank you so much.
You're awesome. I thank you for articulating it that way. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. God bless.
God bless. And we will see you all tomorrow on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show as we go from seed to systems with Cicely. And until that time, we want to remind you to remember to shine your light.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.